Welcome to Anchors in Time. My name's Rachel and today I'm making something. I'm going to take this attic for this doll's house and I'm going to turn it into an outside space for some Sylvanian family food trucks. So I don't have a plan. I have no plan starting this project. I know I want it to be an outside space. Other than that, I'm just kind of winging it. So this isn't really a tutorial. I'm just making some things, you know what I mean? So I decided I was going to either paint or draw a background scene to go on the back of here. So I needed to cover the sides, which is what I'm doing right now with some crepe paper or creepy paper, however you like to say it, some crepe. Just some green crepe paper. Then I had a moustache. It was a bit annoying because I kept ripping it, but we persevere. I just put it on with double-sided tape because I want all of this to be removable in case I want to upgrade in the future. And I did this on both sides to varying degrees of success. It doesn't really matter if it wasn't tidy because I'm going to be covering up bits of it anyway, so I don't really mind. So we got the crepe paper on and then moved on to my next step. So I got some green felt to kind of do the ground because at this point still wasn't really sure what kind of vibe that I wanted. I initially thought I was going to do an allotment or a garden, and then I was like, oh no, I'll do like a country park type thing. So I was like, oh, I could do a path. So I got the green felt, and initially I was like, oh, I've got these glow in the dark stones, I'll use those as a path. And while it's cute, I didn't really vibe with it, but I cut the felt anyway because I was like, I know I'm going to do a path. And then I was like, oh, I'll draw a path. So to begin with, I drew a path with stones and I drew it all out and got it all nice and detailed. And then I was like, I feel like I want something a bit more whimsical. I'll do something else. So I put that path to one side and I got another piece of paper and I drew out a path with logs on. I spent ages drawing these as if they were a log that had been sawn and then made into stepping stone, like into a path, like pavers. And I coloured it all in. I was like, oh, it's okay. And when I finished it, I was like, not quite sure. So I put it out in the bottom and I kind of looked at it and I went away and I came back and I looked at it. I was like, no, I'm just not vibing with this. So I went back to the drawing board and I thought, maybe I could make a 3D one. Maybe I could do some clay. And I thought, because I was winging it, that I would try something that I wouldn't normally reach for, which is polymer clay. Normally I use air drying clay. I got myself some polymer clay and it didn't really work out how I wanted it to. I don't know whether it's because I haven't used polymer clay for like 20 odd years. I'm unfamiliar with it, or if my clay was particularly dry or cheap, but it didn't really work out the way that I wanted to. So I went back to my old faithful of air drying clay, which I have a load of at the moment because obviously I'm still working on my other doll's house renovation right now. Well, I'm not. My eye is playing up, which is why I can't do any detailed work right now, which is why I'm doing this project and not working on my other doll's house, because we have to adapt, us disabled girlies. We have to adapt. Anyway, back to the path. So I got the terracotta air drying clay, rolled it out, decided because it was terracotta that I'd go back to doing it as a stone path, carved it all out, let it dry for 3 days, and I think it turned out pretty nicely. Once it was dry, I sealed it and I used some acrylic paint and some pastels to add some depth and some muddiness and some texture, and I feel like it came out pretty nice. On to the background, or our scenescape as it were. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted it to give a feeling of space, but I also wanted it to make sense for the food trucks to be there. And I thought, oh well, in my grandiosity, what if these were the food trucks that you fuel up on before you go on a hike over the mountains or in the hills, somewhere in the valleys or something nice like that? And wouldn't it be lovely to have like rolling green fields and these mountains with snow on the background. And I went on Pinterest and I googled a few images, and that's what I came up with. I kind of just winged it as I was drawing it, just got my pens out and just went for it, really. I do have the full video of me drawing all of this out, which I probably will put out as a background for a talking video at some point. But it wasn't a complicated process. I just created texture. I didn't want to have it be too realistic. I wanted it to feel kind of not cartoony but not real at the same time. I wanted to fit in with the kind of Sylvanian vibe, and I think I did okay. It was all right. I'd cut some stiff paper to size, and I just drew it out and I put it all together, and I think it turned pretty good. And now I need to put all of this together. I'm using double-sided tape because, like I said before, I want to be able to change it, you know what I mean? And maybe change it the backgrounds of the seasons, or if I get different food carts or whatever. So I'm just sticking everything on. I've stuck the background on, the sides are on. I'm laying down the grass. I have to trim the felt a little bit to get that to fit in. That's fine, that's what we do. I had in my stash some fake plant type things, so I've used those to go up the edges, create a bit of foliage, and I've got these kind of, I think they were for Christmas trees, like fake Christmas tree things for making little fake Christmas trees, so I've used those to kind of edge everything, and it looks alright, you know what I mean? So I did that on both sides, and then at this point I was kind of testing where I wanted the food trucks to go, just playing with things, you know what I mean? But eventually I decided that I was going to have them the other way around, just because the space on the left hand side is a bit bigger, and the little burger van comes with like little chairs and tables and stuff, so it needs a bit more space. So I swapped them round, which I think looks a bit better. And I made some bunting. Well, I say I made some bunting, so I had some dowels and bits of wood left over, so I made these poles and I put some wire on, and the actual bunting itself is from something else that I had. So I was going to make bunting, but then I had little bunting stickers, and like, I know they've got pizzas on, but it's fine. I made the bunting, I put it up, and I was very chuffed with myself with how that looked. So obviously I've still got all these glow-in-the-dark stones left over that I was going to use for the original path, and I still wanted to use them. So what I decided to do was to use them to edge the path, just to give it a little bit more of a finished look. And I do kind of like how it looks as well, and it also kind of tickles me that it does glow in the dark when I go in. So now I need to put all of the bits in for the two sets. I started with the burger van just because it had more moving parts really. So I put the table in, got that situated, and I was like, oh, I need to really, what I should do is set up the burger van because it's in the back. So here is little Matteo. Matteo? Not sure. He's a latte cat, he's the dad. He has his little burger business, so I set up all of his little doodads. I have a real weakness for miniature food, or generally just everyday items in miniature form. I mean, if you're watching this, you get it. Miniature versions of things are just, there's something about them. I really do love like a mini version of an everyday object, which is why I really love these food carts, because of the little mini food and all the little mini burgers that you can build, and the little fries and stuff, and it just makes me really happy. So I set all of his little things up. I misplaced a spatula. My nephew likes to play with these things, so I'm hoping that it's going to turn up somewhere at some point. But yeah, the spatula's gone. So I set up his little bike, and then once he was all good to go, I was like, okay, we need to set up the rest of the park. So as well as the burger van and the bike, this set comes with a table, and it's really clever how it's kind of done. When you build it back up together, it looks like a burger. So the table is cheese, the chairs are little tomatoes, and it has like a little sign with prices on that slots into the bike, and it has all these little fun extras. So I spent a few moments just building a little scene and enjoying myself really, and imagining kind of what they would want on their little burgers and what have you. So I made all of that up. So I moved on to the popcorn stand. This is Barbara, the sheep, which hilarious, so funny. She has a little popcorn stand. I've set her up here with her little sweet stand as well. She's got little buckets and drinks, and it's all very adorable. And I popped her in. I was like, okay, well, now we need some friends to come and enjoy this little park. So I had a little look in my collection and picked out some guys to put in here. While I was trying to decide what to put in here, I remembered that I had got these little decals. I think they're made for putting on like cards and crafts and things, but they're all flowers, and I thought, oh, they look really pretty. So I put those down, little ladybirds everywhere, just to add a bit of nature. And initially I just had the Flora rabbits, Big Brother Bruce and the Latte brothers there. I was like, oh, this feels a bit empty. It needs some more. So I went back to my little collection and I got out the Easter rabbits, and I have this little one of the new ones, a little seal baby, and I have these cute little nursery friends, and I just kind of kept moving everybody around and setting everything up until I was happy with how everything looked. And this is where I ended up, with everybody enjoying a nice spring day, having a little burger and some popcorn and playing in some spring puddles, or enjoying the sunshine before they go for a walk. And I'm pleased with how it turns out. It makes me smile. It seems like such a silly little thing, but as a creative person, as an artistic person who is also disabled, whose body sometimes lets them down when they want to do bigger projects, having something like this that is very low stakes, that doesn't really matter if I mess it up because it's only for me really, helps me to deal with some of that frustration of not being able to do something that I want to be able to do. And it also helps me to learn new techniques to adapt to my failing eyesight and my other disabilities and what have you. And it helps me to feel like I'm still creating and still making things. And I think it's important to find a way to do that, even if it's just a little stash busting project or a little quick and dirty project like this one, where it's kind of low stakes and it doesn't really matter because it's only like me and you who are going to see it. I feel better in myself when I've been creative, and if I haven't been able to be creative for a long time, it definitely really shows. And even if it's just making like a stupid little thing with Sylvanian Families, I'm going to bring some whimsy into my life. That's what I want. And I hope that, you know, you find some whimsy in your life too. Thank you very much for watching. If you would like to hang out with me again sometime, there is a subscribe button on the end card that you can see now, along with some suggestions for other videos to watch. And I also have a gaming channel called Sightless Gamer Hag, which is linked down below. You can also come and hang out with me over there as well. Have a lovely week, and I shall see you soon. Bye bye.